I'll do this. I'm going to throw you down here so I can see. Oh, well, that's just pulling back just the locations. Interesting. I think maybe I need something else. Okay, so I want an actual weather, location information, and 5-day forecast. Ah, so I need something like that. Hey, there we go. Go away, Zoom controls. Nothing irritates me more than those silly Zoom controls. So we'll do this. I will do it this way. Okay. There. That's just a San Francisco, but it works.
That'll do.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to do npm. I already did that. Start. Open in the browser. So I created this one in it's instead of doing create React app, I did lambda-react. And this is what you see when you do that when you first load it. A fellow team lead made this for us. And I think it's way more fun than the other one.
Nice.
Where's my, there it is. Especially because when he does this, if you look on the app.js page, he has this in here saying remove everything from this line to line 37. Like he tells you exactly what you can remove to get yourself up and running, because this is just filler information, he said. So there it is. So I should be left with absolutely nothing. Okay. So if we're going to make a weather app, what would be the first thing that we would want to do? Or what do we need to be able to display the weather?
Well, we'll need an Axios. We'll need to install Axios if it's not already installed.
Actually, with Lambda React, it is. He built that into his. So Axios is there.
Okay, so then we'll want to do a use effect.
Okay.
You say use effect or use effect?
Use. And that's okay. Part of the React part, right?
Yes, correct. So React, comma, space, and then in curly brackets, use effect.
Okay. And then how do we import Axios?
Import Axios from, and then in quotes, Axios.
Right. Testing.
That's good.
All right. So, and then we're gonna pull it in up here. So const URL equals. Oh, dang, Zoom controls. Actually, I think it's still my copy paste. Yes, it is. That way in my Axios, I can just put the URL in there. All right. And how do we make an Axios call in here?
So just inside of the app function, so like line 9, I guess, we'll say, we'll call use effect. And then it's parentheses. Is that right? And then this is where I usually look at my notes to make sure. I can't remember if it's a call. It is. It's a callback. So I think empty parentheses for the no.
You know what? My brain just shut down. So let me refresh my own memory. Come on. Oh, you know what I should probably do before I do this? Since I didn't install anything yet, I can undo. Oh, go in here. Come on. I should probably branch this. Oh, it doesn't matter. I can do, where is, let me split it. Let me go back. Yep, I stupidly opened up an extra video. Holy crap. I can go through. Oh, come on. That's slowing my system down, which is why I didn't have it going in the first place. So we're going to come over here and go over here. It was under that one. Let's do git checkout. Oh wait, git reset. Yeah. Okay. Git checkout. I don't know why I did that. Okay, there we go. So import Axios from Axios. And then const URL equals. Save real quick. It's probably going to yell at me, and that's okay. Do you guys know that GitHub has a dark mode now?
No.
Yes, they just released it. You have to go into settings, I think it was, and there's something about appearance in your like profile settings, and you have to like enable it.
I run an extension on Chrome that makes everything dark mode, so.
I try not to do that only because I've done that for a couple apps, and it like whenever I do that, my apps end up looking goofy.
Yeah, I usually just disable it on like my localhost 3000 and stuff like that, or like whenever I don't want it.
Okay, there we go. Trying to figure out how to do it again. Okay. So yeah, you were right with the parentheses, and then.
Yeah, so then we can do like like an empty callback, or like a callback with no parameters, and then and this is where we do our axios.get.then.catch.
All right, so axios.get, and we put the URL in here, right?
Yeah, I gotta get. Would you mind sharing the URL? That you grabbed for that location, or should I just?
I put it in. I put it in Slack.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the reply that I did.
Thank you.
And then it's not in parentheses. Okay. Oh, but that one is in parentheses. Or not parentheses. This one is. Oh, that's because it was a process unity. Okay. I did that one a little bit differently, so okay. So, and then we're gonna do URL. And then what? After we do the .get, so we're pulling in the URL, and we want to test it first, right?
So then I would do, and Samantha, feel free to like jump in. I don't want to dominate everything. I just figure I'd answer if I know. So in the .then, I would probably say console.log. Then actually we need to do a callback in there.
The response, right?
Yeah, for the response.
Is it an arrow function next? I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And then inside that function, we're going to console.log response.data.
I think it's this way. And then log res.data. And we can also do down here, this is a nice little trick. To do a console log in your actual return statement, you can put it in curly brackets and then just call how you would be calling it in. So if for some reason this one's not console logging, you can always console log it here, but you can also narrow this one down sometimes. Hit save, make sure there's no errors. Data is not defined. Oh, that's right. Why didn't I define it? I guess it would help if I did this, wouldn't it?
I was going to ask that. I felt like I was maybe going out of order, but.
So use state. And that was inside the app, outside the app. It was inside it. Okay.
Inside, yeah.
Oh my goodness, guys. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with going back to old data or old things to figure out how to do things. All right, so we're gonna do set. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay. Okay. It doesn't need the curly brackets. That was my fault. So let me do. Oh, hold on. Do it right. Okay, and then set data res.data. Helps you spell right. You can have more than one then statement as well. That should work. Nope. Res is not defined. I mean, res is not defined. That's a new one on me. Let me copy this part here.
I'm getting a server error. It's saying my API responded with the status of 404 not found.
Hey, at least you're getting something. I'm apparently not getting anything. And then 99, comma. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's console or check the console. Why is it saying res is not defined again? Doesn't say that over here. Oh, now it does. Oh, okay. So we're gonna console log that out or comment that out.
So it's because you have two .thens, it looks like, and one of them sets the data and then you're console logging it.
There we go. All right, so now I'm getting data back. If I can just figure out how to response. Where in the world do I actually see my data and why can't I find it? I don't understand why it started doing this on me. Response. There we go. Okay. So there's my data coming back.
Okay. I'm not getting any data. Could I see your code again?
Yep, you can have as many .thens as you want.
Okay.
There we go. How are you coming along, Samantha?
I'm trying to make sure something's not, I don't know where I missed it, but I'm going back through it and looking.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now I'm getting a different error.
Do you want to share your screen so we can see?
Just a sec, I just want to see. Maybe I can find it.
And we could have called it anything we wanted. We could have done on line 10 weather, set weather. I use data for simplicity. Everybody uses their own thing.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I guess I could share my screen. Maybe you guys could
Okay.
put eyeballs on it.
Go ahead.
I'm sure I'm doing something wrong.
And you did npm install and everything, right?
I did.
Okay. Oh, you did on line 13, you just did another, you're just doing a console log. You're not adding it to an array yet. That's why I have two .thens, one to add it to the array, and then one to actually console log it out.
Oh, okay. Because I thought usually this is how I tested it first, is I just do the console log and see what I'm getting. But maybe I'm not getting anything back from the API.
You're still not?
Uh-uh.
Okay, what? It's saying that there's an error somewhere. Down at the bottom of your screen where it says, where your terminal is, where it says problems with a 1. Yep, click on that. Data is assigned a value but never used. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Wait,
So
yeah,
what it's saying in my console, sorry, Samantha, or whoever's talking,
no, you're okay.
is error, network error at create error.
Okay, let me see the console.
One sec.
Error fails.
Because I'm having it console log the error.
Right at the top of your console, do you see the circle that with those lines through it? Yeah, clear it and then refresh. Okay. Take that link, the API link, and paste it directly into your browser. Let's make sure you actually get data back directly from the link. Okay, so you do. Okay, so that's good. I just want to make sure that your computer was actually reading the data.
Mm-hmm. What's this? It has been blocked by CORS policy. No access control allow origin.
There's no cores. Now, why would I not be getting that error, but you are? That's weird. I hate cores errors. Let me check. I'm
getting the same thing too.
You're getting a cores error?
Yeah.
Are you on a Mac?
No, I'm on a PC.
Oh, I was hoping maybe that was it.
Would be so easy.
Yeah, there's a workaround for it. I just have to find it. Where is? I have to find my channel where I kept that. Oh wait, no. Let me do it this way. Where is? Okay. So what I can do, and if that one doesn't work, we could try a different API. Because I have a list of APIs, and this is probably a repository you're going to want to fork, or to make it get a copy of it, because it has a lot of APIs. Let me just double check this really quick. And what was the actual error stating? It was access control allow origin. Access to the XML request. It's a network error. Do you guys have a VPN or a firewall or anything like that up?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
All right, so let me do this.
I found some, like, it looks like some extension you can install.
Yeah, there is an extension. Try doing that, seeing if that works. Sometimes it helps.
Okay.
Nope, still the same one, huh?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now it's not blocked. Alright. And you have, okay, what does it say? It's access control, allow origin missing.
No, it has been blocked. No access control, allow origin.
Well, I guess that's kind of the same thing. It's not an invalid token. Did not find method in course header. Let's try that one. So let me share my screen real quick. So MDN is your lifeblood. There is, let me go back a page. Oh, it did. Shoot, I went back one too far now. But MDN is a good one. This one, like I chose this one, that the header is missing. To see what it tells us to do. Example, to allow the site. Of course it did. Just as I did that. Stop. Thank you. So this is a good one to keep in handy. Keep handy. Come on. And now my computer decides to be slow. Okay. So out of these messages, I think this one here looks like it's the closest.
Let's see. No access control, allow origin is header is present on the requested resource.
Yeah, so this one just says that the course header access control allow origin is missing.
Yeah, I think that's closest.
All right, so let's see what it says. To allow amazing site to access the resource using course, the header should be that. You can also configure to allow anything. Okay, so how do you set it? To allow any site to make course requests, your server must read that, except that we're not, it's not in the server that we're doing. Try adding this line to the top of the app.js. And see if maybe that helps. Typically, like you said, you wouldn't want to use the wildcard there. You would want to use like the actual API link, but let's try at least the wildcard so we can see if that works.
I'm getting a an error, parsing error unexpected token.
Probably at that line, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Config. We could do an HT access file, but here's the other one I was telling you about, the public APIs. Let's go down to the weather one again. Oh, it does say no course. Ah, interesting. I was trying to do one that didn't need a key. So we could try. Oh, that's my data. That one. That one. Let me try. Let's see. This one says cores is unknown. All right. So what do we want to display? Not the weather icon. We need a little bit more than that. Location forecast. There it is. Get. All right. Response content. We want apparently that's fine. Try it out. Oh, of course it's going to do that. So what was the latitude and longitude here? Doesn't have it. Of course not. But see, you can pull this, which doesn't make any sense to me. That you can pull the actual API itself. All right, we'll just try, which one is the one? We'll do 71, or minus 71, I think is the longitude. We'll do 36, see what that pulls. Request. Copy. I have no idea where this is going to. I just threw some numbers in there. I probably have them backwards for at least the United States anyways. Does it say where it is? Well, it looks like we're in the right hemisphere, so I guess it couldn't have been too bad. All right, so try this link here. See if this one works. Like replace the URL with this one. And I'll do the same on mine. See what happens.
We got data.
Nice. URL equals, and then I'm going to console log this one out and hit save. And all right, you have got to move. We're going to clear, and then we're going to refresh, and hopefully I get data back as well. It looks like I am, or not. Nice. Oh no, I am getting data. It's just coming back in a different format.
Yeah, it's HTML. It looks like it's almost like a plugin or something.
Yeah, which is not exactly what we wanted, but did it say anything about getting the response in? Oh, it's an XHTML. All right, so that's classic. Maybe there's another version. Hey, that's the version we want. JSON. So what did I say? Latitude was 36 and it was negative 71. I think I did. Format JSON.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, that's much better. Okay, and what, it just changed it to compact. Oh, that was in classic. Okay, so let me send you guys this link. So it actually returns in JSON, which is what we're used to. Hopefully that helps. Sorry, we keep changing it. But it's good to see the troubleshooting process.
Yeah, it's good learning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure we'll run into all of these issues at some point on our own.
I think we're actually over in Europe someplace. Because it's coming back in Celsius, but that's all right.
Is that maybe like a query we could add on to the URL? I wonder.
Actually, there's another way to do it. You can actually create like a mini function inside your return statement where you go to display it to have it calculate back out to Fahrenheit. I've done it. It was kind of cool. All right. So are we still getting data back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good, 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 good.
It's kind of weird data, but
yeah, it is. It's a little bit weird, but at least we can, it's something that we can play with.
yeah.
So if we wanted to display, for example, most likely we would want to display what's in here, the time series. And it gives you a name or a time rather. And then there's a data. Holy crap, you have to really filter it down, huh? Let's do instance and details. But here at least we can see the air pressure at sea level, the air temperature, and the cloud area. So C2F in React is always the best way to figure that out. I didn't mean to do in React, but that's okay.
So I'm just curious, whenever you see something like this and you have to like really drill down inside of all these objects to get to data that's usable, would you set the data to like res.data.timeseries.0.data.instant.details?
So I do.
Or like, how would you do that?
I do.
Okay.
So if we only want to display index 0, for example, because there is a lot of information in there, you can, and I'll show you how to do that really quick as soon as this refreshes itself. So what was the first one we had to go into? All right, so
properties,
not geometry. Yep, properties. So if we go back over here and do data.properties, properties, I think it is. I think I spelled that right. It should just show the properties now. Oh, I gotta go down to the new one. Okay. Wait, did I not go scroll down? Is it still showing everything?
Did you update your console log?
Probably not.
I did the same thing.
Oh no, the console log is the one I changed to properties. But maybe I need to update both of them. Right, it's IES, right? It's refreshing. Oh geez, what the heck did I do? I went off of a page. That's not cool. Preview. Wait, hold on. Preview. Back again, please. Come on. There it is. Okay. Okay. So refresh. Are you getting anything?
I am, yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you getting it down to the properties?
Mm-hmm.
Did I spell properties wrong?
Mm-mm.
And you did it just like this, right?
One sec, let me. So, set data.
I'm still getting back everything.
Are you looking at the response or are you looking at your console? Because the response, won't that show you everything on that URL?
No, I put that in there. I put it in both lines.
Yeah, but the response is pulling in from the URL. We want to look at your console, at your log, at your console. The response will show everything.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm looking at the response. My console log's not printing. I just realized that. Let me try this really quick.
I ended up combining both my set data and my console log into the one .then.
Okay. Now let's try. There we go. Now it's pulling back. Now I see it. Yep, that's what it needs to be. Okay. So set data, then, and I'll put in, we're going to do this, and then we're going to, and how did you do it?
Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because we're going to get rid of that console log at some point anyway, but I put them both into one .then statement. So like I just put brackets and did 2 different lines.
Oh, the curly brackets?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And I just did set data and then right after it console.log.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that one. And then we're gonna put you in here. And that should be correct. If I found all my ends correctly.
I think so.
I think I did. Looks like I did. Nice. Okay.
Woohoo.
It's always nice. So now we need to narrow it down further, of course. So we've got our object. Okay, you come over here. All right. So now we don't need this one. We need the time series is the next one, wasn't it?
Yeah, .time series.
Okay. And then we probably just want index 0.
Sure.
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
Properties.
Now time series. Okay, so yeah, so that is that an array then?
So it'll be like that because the time series has arrays in it.
It is. Okay. Okay. Time series is an array of these.
Did I spell time series right though? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because I can't spell to save my life.
You did.
Okay.
Dot data.
All right, and let's clear my console because there's just too much there. Hit refresh. And oh, right, the dot data was next, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. And then I think that gives, then we're close, then because, and then we can choose, do we want instant? Do we want like the next 1 hour, 6 hours, 12 hours?
Well, we could just leave it at data and then we have those options open to
Yeah,
us.
exactly, right.
That's a good idea. And then so dot data, because why not have data twice? As long as it doesn't error out, we're good.
What a crazy API.
Right? Oh, you should have seen the other APIs I've dealt with. All right, so it looks like we got exactly what we wanted. So we have instant, next 12 hours, next 1 hour, next 6. Okay. So now that
I
we
just think
have
it's
that,
funny, like even within instant, they have to have, they can't just have instant, they have to have an object called details
yeah,
within instant.
yeah, it sucks.
It's the only thing in there.
All right, so now what do we want to display? We probably want a heading of some sort. Or do we need anything else before we get to our return statement?
Should we do, oh no, you have the dot catch.
Oh yeah, I build that in right away before I even start returning data.
Yep. I hear you. And we all have our empty array so that it doesn't ping the API a million times.
Right.
And I can't think of anything.
Okay. So let's do, oh, what am I doing? H1. We'll do that. Now the only thing we need to do is, knowing how the data is being returned, how do we want to display the data? Like, can I just do, in here, for example, we can try one. We can do, we'll do a paragraph because I'm weird. Can I just do data dot instant? What was the other one?
Data dot instant dot details dot.
We'll do air underscore temperature just to pull one out.
Mm-hmm.
So data dot instant dot details dot air underscore temperature. Did I spell that right? I think I did.
It looks like.
Oh, wrong one. Yeah, looks like it. So should this work?
I think so.
Looks like it does. Nice. Okay. So to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. I always forget the formula, but it's really cool how you do this. It is that times 9/5. Nope, I want the actual percentage because I can't do Celsius to Fahrenheit multiply by 1.8 and add 32. So watch this. This is really cool. So inside here, we're actually going to add another bracket, curly bracket. because we don't want necessarily all this to be displayed. What we're going to do, so we want that times 1.8 plus 32, right? And that should do it. Nope. So it must have been outside the brackets. I was trying to remember how I did it. All right, so get out of that bracket, and save. Huh, that didn't work. Okay, how did I do it over here?
I would think it needs to be inside the bracket because is it not a number? Is it a string?
That one was the 2 fixed. So let's do, I'm going to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit in React. We'll do that. Sometimes it helps to add that React thing on there. No, I don't want a hook. Okay, you know what? I'm going to cheat and I'm going to go back through my history because I've actually done that before. Of course, I had to choose the wrong one. Open weather. Go back to the code. All right, so source. And just ignore some of this. There's a lot going on in this app here. And trying to explain would probably confuse even me. Took me about 2 weeks to build this app altogether. And then we're going to do history of this card. Let's look at this one. Ah, there it is. Nope, that's not it either. Of course, that one's already in there. Oh, darn it. Oh gosh, that's an old one. It still has the my thing in there. Really need to get rid of these. My APIs that I have in there. All right.
So I think I just like typed those coordinates into Google. I think we're somewhere like off the coast of North Carolina.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I just threw a random number in there.
Yeah.
I knew approximately where we were. At least I was on the East Coast, which is where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we at least have that part of it pulled up, and I can figure out how to do it in a minute. Although it's going to drive me crazy until I can figure it out. No, I definitely do not want to do that. So I had the formula correct. Maybe I had to have it in parentheses. 1.8 and then plus 32. You know what I think I do? Yeah. I need 2 there because you go right there. And then you go right there, if I do my math correctly. Oh, that's not working either.
Well, I think it would have to be inside the curlies just because you can't do calculations
Yeah,
outside the curlies.
I'm a dork. And I think you said that before too.
Did I?
Probably.
I don't know. Maybe I just like to repeat myself.
Hey, there we go. Yep, you were right. I'm a dork. And then we've got this little nifty thing here. Copy. I want this one. Put that outside the brackets. And we have our temperature icon. Is it 72 in North Carolina? That's really warm.
I was just thinking that.
Okay, so we need to move it to where closer to, like, where are you? Are you on the East or West Coast?
I'm West Coast.
You're West Coast. What's the current temperature where you are?
I don't know, maybe 70.
Oh, okay, so it's not far off for you. I'm at 45, so. So what are the coordinates for San Francisco?
Exactly 70. See, I just knew.
Latin long for San Fran.
Honestly, we're so spoiled with weather here at pretty much any time of year. If you ask me the wet temperature, I'll say, I don't know, 65, 70, and it's usually right.
Oh, I wish. Okay, so I can close that one now. We got that figured out. I was just an idiot. Okay, so do you know why we didn't have to map through it?
Why we didn't have to map through it?
Correct.
Well, because we have very specific like coordinates and everything.
Because we did through the index. If it was if we stopped before the index, we would have to map through. Correct. So 37 and 122. So I was probably really close with the 30 part. 36. I had 36. That's okay. So 37. And we said, and it should be negative 122. Although that has positive. Interesting.
Feels so glitchy. Like I had it working and then I changed the coordinates and now it's giving me an error.
Huh. Apparently that is 24 degrees. Yeah, I didn't think 122 does not sound. It's got to be negative. It's got to be negative.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure on our side of the hemisphere, we are negative. Yeah, 53. And I think that's what it said down here. Right now it's 56 in San Francisco. Okay, so now we're closer. There we go. All right, so now we're going to add. So what else do we want to display?
Well, it's giving me issues again.
Now, something else that I did, you could also do something like this. Oh, wait, I have to do row first. I forgot. Row. Then this. Like you guys did that, correct?
What's that? Sorry.
Did you guys do tables at all in Unit 1?
Oh, no, we didn't. They might have touched on it, but we were just basically told that Flexbox replaces that. I'm pretty sure. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm. And now I did it this way just now. So now my current temp is bolded and the temperature is right there because I did it in a table. Table head, it gives you a bolded thing. And I can always go in here and do text align center. I don't usually do styling right in the sheet, but why not? Oh, I didn't like that at all. Because I forgot the S, I think. It's been a while since I've done it that way. Nope.
Okay.
All right, well, then I'll just forget it.
I got it working again.
Nice.
I just literally uncommented it and recommented it, and now it works.
All right. So what else do we want to display? Or what other questions might you have on how to do things? Like, did this make sense, mapping through the array? Did it help any?
Yeah, I think it was good. I guess this isn't simple, but would you be able to tell me something that like I just can't seem to get through my mind is how to have a button as its own component that when it's clicked, it sets the state. Like how does it pass that information back to the app?
So you would have an on-click event built into your button. So where is my? So a good one would be, I can show you this one that I'm working on has an on-click event.
Like, let's say, for example, we want to change it. We want to have a button that will, we can click it and it'll show us what the next, what the weather looks like rather than now. Like, we click on what it'll look like in an hour. And I see like in an hour, there's a symbol code for light rain.
Right. Okay. So
like click on it and it'll tell us, okay, there's going to be light rain.
Yep. So every button, you're going to have to set a function up above where your return statement is. For example, this button that I have in this one, if I can get to it, it would be the small. So here I have a button and I have an on click, and it's going to open the contents of what's inside it.
Mhm.
So I have a handle toggle, and then up here, I mean, I have other things set to help this, but basically you're going to have to do whatever you set your on click to down here is what you're going to have here.
Mhm.
And you're going to set it the const to it, and then you're going to tell it what to do. And in this case, I have a ternary statement. The toggle menu, I want you to, to open or to show the menu or not to show the menu.
And how do you get that back up to the app so that the app can tell the menu to open?
So this is pulled in directly on my app.js page. I created a separate page to handle that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's pulled in. Oh, I have it pulled into a header page. And so I have the header pulled into a header card because I'm weird.
Okay. So when you import all that stuff, it imports the states that you have set?
Correct.
As well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you could say, like, if menu button clicked or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then it would. Okay. I think I got that. So then you could pass that as a state down through a prop into your menu.
In this case, I'm not using props. I'm just literally importing the file.
Okay.
It's almost like when you do your import React from React, I'm almost doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Except here I'm importing nav small, and then here's the location of the file. And that's going into this header page, which I then import into the app.js. And the only reason I do it this way is so I can do things like this. Like if you looked at here's my weather app, the one I built a while ago. And this is the function, this is that menu button I'm talking about. So when I click that menu button, it shows my menu. And I can click on a link and I can go there. So this is the weather at my dad's house in this case.
Mm-hmm.
And I can, and this is its own card, but actually this right here, this data is a card and this data is a card because these are two different Axios calls to two different APIs. And then here is another Axios call, and here is another one. This app altogether has 30 different API calls. Because I think there's, or actually it's not quite 30 anymore. I think it's down to 25 because there's 4 API calls for every member, and there's 6 of us. Because there's 5 kids and then my parents together. So that's 6 times 4 is that 24? I think.
So how does your header know whether to display the menu or not? That's what I'm not getting. If it's not being passed the state as a property.
Right. So it becomes an event. So if you look over here, when I go to click it, all of a sudden you can see these other divs show up because now they're being told, hey, show yourselves. Otherwise they're hidden. And now they all go away. And in I believe it is in components. I believe it is this one. I have to narrow it down just the right way. Come on, consumer. Oh, I have to do this first. All right, there we go. Wasn't letting me see it. Sorry.
It's okay.
All right, so T. There it is. It is kind of passed down in props, but I'm actually not calling props. It's just because of the way it's built. It's a child of it. Does that help at all? Or did that confuse you more?
No, it didn't confuse me more,
Okay.
but it didn't really, it's not clear to me still, but I think I'm just confusing myself.
Well, I mean, that is something that they're going to go over this coming week. Because you're going to start single page applications, which is what this is considered, a single page application. Even though there's like 10 pages, it's all rendered at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not actually refreshing the page, it's just going to.
Right. The only thing that it renders on demand are my GET requests.
Mm-hmm.
So like, here's my GET requests, and I have all my consoles here.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing about these is I highly recommend doing this. So in my console log, I said, I wanted you to print this and then the data. That way I knew exactly where it was coming from and what data I'm telling it to display. And for me, this was the card number. Not number, but what I called the card.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. Because it was kind of bothering me, like on my character application, I did like the Star Wars one,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be able to like expand like one at a time. So I was able to figure it out, but I had to build the button in. Like I mean, which I know isn't really the way you're supposed to do it. Like I didn't make the button its own component. I just did the button on the page.
Okay.
Or like as part of the component of the details or whatever.
I think I see what you mean. So this site,
which I guess isn't wrong because it worked, but it's not really best practice, I feel like.
right. So where do I have this one saved? It should be over here. And this one loads. Wow, it's taking its time today.
I think I'm caught up on the idea that data is only passed down like in one direction. Because I'm like, okay, so you have like all the states are supposed to be like under app.js, like ideally, right? And then it just passes everything down. But when you have a component that's a child of something that changes that state, it has to pass that data back up to the parent so that then the parent can pass that down to all of its other children or that can act on it accordingly.
Right. So no, actually not all states are going to be in your app.js. Sometimes they're going to be in the smaller cards. Like especially
Okay.
like on my weather app, I had multiple API calls.
Right.
None of those were on a single page.
Mm-hmm.
So here's this website here is one that I did. If I click this, it lists, I think this is what you're talking about. So I have all these items here. Say I want to look at this one. I can click this and it pops up with expanded information.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're talking about?
Similar. I mean, your menu example was a good example. Like that was a good example. Just literally any change, like any change by a button on its own component. I just don't get how it tells the other component to show itself.
Okay.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Okay.
Do you think that's something we'll learn this week?
So yeah, some of it is. So you've got when I'm on the page called the shop,
Mhm.
this is called, I'm showing all products.
Mhm.
And you can see here where I have the shop right here with nothing after it. And it shows the item list, which is all products. But I also
Mhm.
have this special page being pulled into this router thing, which you guys will learn this week. And that's showing the item shop / an ID. And it pulls in a single item. And then if I go to those pages, so in my components, I should have a page that's called my item list, which should be pulling in using props. And it says, you know, this is where you can, this is everything. So it has all the items, and I'm mapping through all the items and showing just certain information. So on here, it looks like I'm showing the image. Yeah, that one's an image. And then the item name here, the price, and then the number. So I got the image, the name, the price, and the number. And then when I go and I click it, I should have a on click in here somewhere. Yep, right here, on click. So all of this is contained within that button. So my button should end somewhere. Where'd you go? Might be, oh, it's just the image, okay. But here's the button right here.
Mhm. So you have the on click in the app.js.
Mm-hmm. Now for here,
or
this
in
one,
the parent
it,
app at least.
does this pull in? So this doesn't have the on click, I believe the thing for that is either in, it might be in the app.js. Now I can't remember. It must be.
Where's your app go back function?
Must be in the individual page because it's not in the app.js. So it is going to be in my single item right here.
Mm-hmm.
And the functions are being passed down / up. So here's my go back. That's add to cart. Where the heck did my on click go?
It was in the parent.
Yeah,
That's why I was
yeah, I didn't
curious
see the
how
actual code for it though.
Yeah, it just called use history. It just called
Oh,
use
it called go back. That's right.
or go back, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, which is a use history thing. And that's just what use history does.
How does the parent have access to use to go back if it's in the child?
Because it's props. Props goes both ways.
Okay, I see. I think that might explain my confusion.
Yep,
Because
props allows
I was just like so caught up on like if it goes one direction, how does it pass that back to be able to? Okay.
Yeah, no, props is the one thing that goes both ways. Nothing else does. Like I can't pull this stuff in on this part of the page. So this at the top and the footer is all part of the app.js page.
Mm-hmm.
This section right here is all part of your routing. That's the only part that ever changes on this page.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of, and it's the dependency that you download is called React Router DOM, because it's manipulating the DOM. And you use these guys here, route, link, and switch. And you'll start doing that this coming week. So in my return statement, I have my navigation here. and all the links. And then I have this component here that's called switch. And this also tells me where you can see the slash, that's the address path. So if I go to /the shop / an ID number, it's going to show me a single item. If I go to just /shop, it's going to show me the item list card. About is going to show me the about card, so on and so forth. And then you have the one, and we almost always put it at the bottom because it works best that way. And then this one is the home. So that's what you see when you first load the page, because there's nothing after it.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that when you said the props goes both ways, that made it click better for me. So that makes more sense. So
Yeah,
I just wanted to play around with that and see if I could try and get my button as its own component versus like as part of the component, because that's easy. That's cheating. I mean, it's just like on click, just like I just use display hidden, or display none versus.
And you can do that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah, but isn't it better to like have the button like as its own component, like cleaner?
Well, it all depends on what you're going to have. Sometimes if you have more pages, that's less clean, because then
Gotcha.
you just have too many pages.
Mm-hmm.
But so the less pages you can use is better. But sometimes the biggest reason why you would want that button on its own page, for example, is if you might use it someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
So say on your about page, you have something that when you click that button, you want it to display properties, and you name it a property that can be used throughout the website, so that on your about page, it displays it. And then on your contact page, it also displays it. But only because you made it its own component, and you can pull that into any page.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense.
Which is why a lot of times we do a display all, but have the actual items on a separate card so that we can have them clickable. But it also helps set what it's supposed to look like as well. Some people don't do it that way. I do it that way because I like the whole clickable, minimized thing. If you really want to look at it, you'll click this and see it.
Alrighty. Well, this was good. I mean, I think it's all, the more practice we have creating little apps, the better, I think.
Absolutely. And let me send you, before I forget, and I'll put it just right back in that Zoom meeting. Not the Zoom meeting. The reply in the main channel. The API link to the repository that has all the APIs. I found that one, and it's a good one to play with, because you can just make a whole bunch of little apps out of it on whatever topic you want. Because I don't know if you saw the list, but there's a lot of topics on there. So I shared that over there, and then that GitHub repo, like I said, has a whole lot of API links in it. So say you didn't like doing the weather app, you want to do something with animals, there's a link to animals and a whole bunch of different APIs for that. And and I can say from experience, the key most important thing you ever want to do when you're using APIs is browse to the link that you are given. 9 times out of 10, that link is going to show you documentation on how to use it. What the routes are, what the paths are. It'll typically show you example data that you'll get back as well. So you can see, okay, so this is what I'm going to get back. An object with arrays, or an array with another array, and so on and so forth. I would look at that before I ever even start coding anything.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I need to know what it looks like to know how to code it. And if it's an API that I chose because it sounded interesting, I also need to look at that first to know what data it displays to see what I want to display. So I don't need the water temperature from a weather app. I just want the air temperature. Water temperature means nothing to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be to somebody. So it's nice that it's there. It's just not something I necessarily need to display. So it's good to have that as an option. So, and I know anybody that was with me in my sessions on Thursday and Friday, mostly Friday, I told them that before they even code a thing on the sprint, look at the APIs so you can choose the better API for you, but you know how to call it.
Right.
So.
Makes sense.
And I'll probably do more sessions. I'll probably do another one next week on the weekend before y'all's build week. I'm trying to think of, basically it's just single page apps after this, but I have a couple things of advice for build week. My biggest one is your code's going to get changed because you're with another React person. That React 2 person is going to change pretty much everything you code because they have to.
You mean the way we're doing it? They just prefer to do it a different way, or what?
It's not that they prefer to do it a different way. It's that you haven't learned some of the things that need to be implemented for their portions to work. So
Gotcha.
make sure you have your own branch.
Okay. Is that by design?
It is. It is. Like you can build a sign-in form, but you can't necessarily actually do the actions of the sign-in because you haven't learned authentication yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build the form, but then the unit 3 person is going to come in and they're going to have to adjust that form to allow it to work with authentication is basically what it is. A lot of unit 2 people get upset about that, but I'm like, it's by design. It's there's nothing they can do about that. But as long as you have your own branch to show what you did, you're good to go.
Yeah. Right. Okay, that makes sense. When I was trying to look up examples online of like to answer my button question or whatever, like of React, most of the things I was seeing were using classes. Is that something we're going to learn at some point, or is it just a different way of doing it?
It's another way of doing it. I think, if I remember correctly, that's in Unit 3.
Okay.
But you might touch on it this coming week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how was the sprint for you?
Actually, it was like the worst sprint for me, and I had to do a retake. I did what I would call like the hard part in like 30 minutes. Like everything was like set up, all the data was pulling in. And then for some reason, I just like when I got to the styling components, I just couldn't do it. Like nothing was working, nothing.
I'm not a big fan of styled components.
Yeah.
I like Material UI for my styling, or I style it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of styled components. Me personally, styled components makes my code look chunky. I want my styles on its own sheet all by itself. Don't mess with my regular page. It's too much to scroll through.
Yeah. So for some reason, I don't know. It just like nothing was working the way I expected it to, you know, like because I can style a page in CSS, no problem. Like boom, it's done. But for some reason, I just like the margins weren't working, and then I had like these weird gaps around the whole page, and then it just I couldn't get it. And by the end, I just gave up and deleted all and submitted it with no styling at all. And then I did the retake. And then in the retake, I was fine, but I just rewatched the video and I just copied everything that she did.
So what I would recommend is the app that we just did. use styled components because you have to use it for the build week.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, you only have to use it on like one page. You just have to have it in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But what we only built the one page right now.
Right.
So that's all we have. But use styled components. And then if you have time later this week, pick another API from that repository I sent you, or I sent the channel, and build another simple app and use styled components for that. And then you can always, like after this build, you can always take out styled components and try Material UI, see what it looks like with that, or style it on your own. Don't not reuse or keep working on some of the apps that you've built thus far. Once they're graded, improve on them, make them look better, use the new knowledge and make it look cooler, better.
Yeah.
But don't stop building. If you have time, build simple little apps. Build something that interests you. Like I did the family weather. That's my entire family. You know, I thought it would be fun. It was a bit of a headache, but that was because I was pulling in so many different APIs and I had to have so many pages, and because I wanted it to be live for my family to look at it, I had to hide the APIs.
Right.
Because of the developer keys. So that was a trick in itself of learning how to do that, but I did it. And now the next step of that app is I'm going to change it from React to React Native, which is slightly different and older. But because from React Native, I can make a mobile app. So that's my next trick, so to speak. You know, and like I'm always building a back end and a front end for different things, just because, especially while I was in computer science, because it kept my skills sharp.
Yeah.
So that's why I really liked that API repository, because I could just pick something else off of there and see what I can do with it.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, thank you very much. Do you know who our instructor is going to be for the next couple weeks? So it's not Rhiannon then?
No, she should be for the rest of this unit.
Okay. Because don't they normally like switch off like between two instructors?
Correct, except I believe for Unit 2 right now, it's just her.
Okay.
Because I believe they moved Gabe permanently to Node backend. Because Gabe used to be doing Unit 2.
Because, okay, well, that's kind of what I was wondering, because I've been having a little bit of trouble this last like couple weeks